Ho ho ho, it's December! And what better way is there to bring in the holiday Christmas spirit than to watch Santa Claus slaughter a bunch of guys with a sledgehammer? Violent Night. So Violent Night stars David Harbour as jolly old Saint Nick, who's not so jolly anymore. In fact, he pretty much has Jack Skellington syndrome. He's been doing this for years, he's getting bored of it, he's like, people are getting worse. Perfect Santa for David Harbour to play. So it's Christmas Eve, so Santa is out delivering his presents. This one rich family in Connecticut is attacked by a group of thugs, led by John Leguizamo, so you know they're bad news. But when Santa Claus comes to town, he proceeds to lay waste to them. Yeah, we got Santa Claus in action killing guys. And when I first saw the trailer for this, I was like, that is the most hilarious premise ever. Cause we know Santa Claus for being jolly. Oh, he brings joy in Christmas. This is what really happens when Santa gets pissed. It's pretty much the Weird Al song, The Night Santa Went Crazy. You know that song? No? Well, listen to it. It's great. And anyway, yeah, here we go with our action comedy. First off, this movie proves that David Harbour is here to stay for a good long while. Cause I could not think of a better actor to play Santa Claus in this movie. I mean it, dude. He was like born for this. I mean, after seeing him as Hellboy or Red Guardian in the MCU, we're like, yeah, he is that action star who plays guys who are just out of it. Like, they're the reluctant type. They're like, ugh, I don't want to do this. You pissed me off. Now I'm going to kill you. Come here. Not unlike John McClane. Just a little on the heavier side. But David Harbour uses that to his strength, and that's why he was perfect to play Kris Kringle. He's the best thing about this movie, to no one's surprise. And John Leguizamo was also pretty good. Which, I mean, he's having a pretty good holiday season. We just saw him in The Menu. He was great in there. He's great in here. I like this kind of streak we're on with him. I want to see him in a lot more stuff now. He can be pretty intimidating when he wants to be. And when the action goes down in this movie, it is damn entertaining. When it finally does happen, that is. I mean, some of the scenes, like, they're in the dark, so you can tell that it's obviously a stunt double. It's not actually David Harbour doing the stunts. I mean, it is Christmas Eve night after all. And I hate to be a Scrooge like that, but I just couldn't help but think, oh yeah, that's obviously a stunt double. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy who was like, oh, that's so cool. This action is so awesome. Because the action is cool and it is awesome. Like I said, it's Santa Claus beating the shit out of thugs. Tell me how that's not going to be entertaining as hell. I'm surprised a movie like this hasn't been made sooner. I just love that concept. I mean, at this point, Santa Claus might as well be a superhero. He has magical superpowers and a group of reindeer that can fly, so yeah. The movie's an action comedy, so when it wants to bring the action and the comedy, it brings it, and it brings it really well. And one thing I did not expect is that Santa Claus actually gets something of a backstory here. Like, the movie does actually explain why Santa Claus knows how to kick so much ass. And there I was like, alright, I don't know about lore when it comes to Santa Claus. I grew up in a Jewish family. So the backstory that Saint Nick gets in this movie, I don't know if it's accurate. But when I saw it, I just had to laugh. If it is accurate, that's really cool, actually. But something's telling me it's not quite. It's ludicrous. Oh yeah, this movie's outrageous. Throw logic out the window when going into this one. I mean, even physics-wise, when someone flips over something, you're like, that's not realistic. But I mean, it's Violent Night, you know? You're not going into this movie for like, oh, is it a tour de force? No, you're there to kick your feet up and lay back and have a good time. So whatever with the backstory, it's funny. My gripes with the movie do start to come in, however, when it decides to slow down and focus on this family. This movie actually spends a good amount of time focusing on them, and I grew to like pretty much none of them, even the Johnny Main guys. Like, the main mom and dad, they're normal, likable people to the point of getting a little boring. Everyone else in the family, they're all just douchebags. You don't care if they get killed. If they do. I'm not going to say if they do or not. But when the people being attacked are douchebags as well, you're like, well, I don't care. Maybe they deserve it. Wasn't really sure what they were going for with this family. Are we supposed to like them or not? And given the amount of time this movie really does spend on them, that did bring it down a few points with me. Like, it took away from the fun action vibe that was promoted with this movie. Whenever Santa wasn't on screen, I was like, can we get back to Kris Kringle, please? Because he's what we came for. There's also some dialogue in this movie that gets really cheesy. Which, alright, some cheese I don't mind. This movie went a little overboard with the cheese.
Time for some season's beatings.
Like, come on, seriously with that? I get it, you know, Christmas is ripe with possibilities when it comes to puns. I'll be honest with you, I had no idea that I wanted to hear Saint Nick say, ho ho holy shit. Seeing that on the big screen, I was like, that was genius. Thank you, Violent Night, for making me realize that I needed that all my life. Other lines in the movie, they made me facepalm, and I'm the freaking Punisher. I love cheesy puns. This movie went overboard. That's how cheesy it gets. Too cheesy even for me. Granted, I know the movie's not trying to be Macbeth or anything. I guess it all depends on who you are. If you're fine with a lot of cheese like a 90s action movie, then this is your utopia, my friend. Me personally, I'm not a big 90s action fan. So there you go. And touching on the score in this movie, I was not the biggest fan of the score. It sounded really generic, like one of those home family comedy movies where the music was like bum bum. I was like, alright, really? And then of course it incorporates Christmas songs into the score, which that also contributed to the generic nature of it. I'm probably gonna make an active effort to never listen to the score again. I disliked it that much. Like, it also did kind of bring the movie down a bit. Because the score is supposed to immerse you, you know? It's supposed to add to the vibe and atmosphere of the film. The tone that the score provided for this film, I was not a fan of it. Because it was like generic comedy, like Home Alone or something. I'm just guessing there, because I've never actually seen Home Alone. Don't shoot me! You're gonna unsubscribe now, aren't you? Yeah, damn it. I shouldn't have said that. But in the end, Violent Night, I did think it was pretty cool overall. I just love the concept. Santa Claus going berserk on a bunch of thugs just seems like the most brilliant premise ever to me. I love David Harbour as Santa Claus. Seriously, that's like 10 out of 10 casting right there for this movie anyway. The action was really cool. The humor was funny, for the most part. I just think the movie spent a little too much time on this boring family with generic happy people, a kid who's probably too old to believe in Santa Claus, and a bunch of douchebags. Yeah, that's some problems right there. It's really cheesy, and the generic score did bring it down, but I still had a decent amount of fun with this movie. For Violent Night, I will say, wait until this movie's at a discount price, then go see it. I mean that too. It's not like, yeah, go see it at a discount price if you want. No, I'm saying go see it at matinee price, cause you'll enjoy it. I just don't think it's worth the full price of admission. I definitely do recommend seeing this movie at a discount price. So, Violent Night, have you seen it? What are your thoughts on it? And what is your favorite iteration of Santa Claus in a movie? That's a good question. Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!